Join discord.gg/flat earth and enter a VC check-in room, and someone will come along to VC Riffia to get involved with the conversation about Earth.
Enemy spotted.
Lounatic Part 2.
Welcome. I was distracted. I was busy.
I'm not there yet, but eventually I'll just be here to cause trouble, so might as well talk to me now before I get in trouble.
Shit stir, huh?
Lately, apparently, yeah. No, if I'm not on board with what the cult has to say, then I'm a shit stir, you know.
Well, you just said it's apparent, so I wouldn't be worried about it.
Unless you worry about what your priests want to tell you.
Look, don't drag me into this bullshit.
Yeah, but he said apparent. Apparent is not.
I did say apparent. It's apparent.
Yeah. So not real then, apparent.
Yeah, it's like being a pseudo mod. It's not real, fake. It's apparent. I got in trouble a couple of days ago. Well, not really in trouble, but it got a little bit hairy.
Yeah, I was here.
Yeah, it got a little. Yeah, it got a little bit hairy, and it basically because I don't really want to start infighting with other flat earthers. I don't think that it's good for one group of flat
You
earthers.
came in here and started a fight. You fucking asshole.
Well, no, I didn't start one. That's the thing is I was actually having a normal conversation, and then I got kind of dragged into that, leading questions and so on. Just because I answered stupid questions is that's how I ended up where I was. Like I answered the stupid questions honestly and to my best ability. It was entrapment, essentially. Like,
Lou, did you go and listen to the videos they wanted you to listen to? The clips?
no, fuck them, no.
Dude, what the fuck is wrong with you?
No, look, I saw what started the whole thing with Jaren. Like, fine. Like, I already said that Jaren shouldn't have thrown those people under the bus the way that he did. Okay, like, but we got this whole on the other side of this. We got this group of guys, like the Fed guys, apparently, like are. They're always looking for more fodder. They're looking for more people to fire a gun at, and apparently they don't have enough Globers to do that with. They're looking for flat earthers to do that with.
Hey guys, you need to be more specific. You need to be more specific. I'm not aware of what's going on, and I'm sure the audience as well. You need to be more specific in what you're talking about. Please, more detail, so we know what we're talking about.
They're trying to infight. They're trying to draw a line and say that these are real flat earthers and these are pretender clowns. That these are the people you should listen to and these are the people that you should not listen to. Listen to me. Do not listen to them. I have the truth. They have lies. It's the same. It's falling for the same kind of bullshit that the Globe pretender clowns fucking gave us for years, but on the inside.
But you're talking to flat earthers, though. I mean, flat earthers should know better than that, isn't it?
No, but they don't. They don't know better than that.
Really?
Really. I mean, many do, but not this very large group. That
I know
seems
some
to be,
people are falling for this side rather than that side, and this and that bullshit. It's like they don't have their own brain. They're not thinking for themselves. They go with the flow pretty much. I think that's what you're talking about, no?
I don't really want to get all wrapped up in the whole thing again, honestly.
Okay. So, I'm just trying to understand what's going on. Because I heard the name Jaren.
Yeah, no, Jaren. Okay, Jaren's one is pretty obvious. So I'll talk about that instance where he said that any flat earther who, essentially, he said that flat earthers who say that you have to have a flat baseline, a flat surface in order to triangulate the stars to get a. I don't have them verbatim on this, but to get what do they call it? GP, ground position. Like anybody who claims that you have to have a flat baseline is what did he say? He said that they were scammers, and so that really hurts a lot of people who did say that. In fact, I've said it, like that you do need to have, but I'm not butthurt by it. I kind of think that he kind of spoke out of place there, and he probably didn't mean all of what he said to every single person, but he was actually thinking of a certain group of people who are very adamant about it. And for quite some time there's been a little bit of a tension between them. Like um, I mean, and look, like I said, he shouldn't have said that,
Yeah,
but
but listen, he's a big man. He's a grown man. I'm sure he can sustain whatever he claims. If he has a claim like that to make, I mean, let him. Treat
yeah,
him the same as you would treat the baller.
no, and he did, and now he's facing the repercussions of that. He's all of a sudden, the FED community is gathering most of this community and everybody else and trying to say that he,
Why?
like basically,
Why?
it's becoming a gang war. It's becoming a gang war. Okay,
Yeah, but
why?
why? Yeah.
Why? Because they thrive on drama, and
No, no,
their views go up. Their views go up with drama. Yes.
that's not the reason why. The reason is because he's making a claim. He's claiming something, yeah, isn't he? He's saying that science doesn't prove anything, and now he's saying that. I never heard him saying that, but if you're saying, I trust what you're saying.
Well, this
But
wasn't about science proving things or not. This was about
yeah,
calling people scammers.
yeah, yeah. And the flat baseline, yeah, that is what is used for any type of navigation, any map, any Cartesian system. It uses a flat baseline. For you to do any triangulation, you're going to need a flat baseline for your triangle. I mean, it's not difficult to understand, but if Jaron is claiming otherwise, I mean, I don't see the problem with that. It just needs to be confronted with someone who's going to ask him to support his claim, like anyone else. Next thing he's going to tell you is that we live on the globe.
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna ever go that far. I kind of think that
Well, he
uh,
already claims that is a 15 degree an hour spinning of the Earth.
no, he didn't claim that.
No?
No, neither did Bob that had the gyro where this came from in the Netflix thing. No, none of the Globebusters ever said that. They said that the
All right.
gyro showed 15 degrees of rotation, and it wasn't Jaron, by the way. That was Bob. Uh, R.I.P. Right? But yeah,
Tomato, tomato.
Bob was the one who had the gyro, and he was quoted in that Netflix thing saying something along the lines of um, that he didn't want to say it, but like it doesn't look good, and was talking about the results of like what his looking at this fiber optic gyro. I don't know if it was a ring laser gyro, whatever. Um, like that it showed a 15-degree rotation, but then later on, before he passed, also he did a little more study into that gyro. Like these things are mechanical, or they're not mechanical instruments. They're programmed electronic instruments. Like they're so it like that 15 degrees is something that's basically pre-programmed into it. Like it doesn't actually pick it up. Like a real gyro, a real mechanical gyro, one that like is just kind of like the toy gyro that you had as a kid. If you were to spin it up really good and it were to go for a long time, like it doesn't behave the same way as that ring laser gyro does. It actually, if you were to turn around an object, it would turn too. Like it's not going to just drift on its own. It doesn't do that.
Yeah, but regardless,
Pre-programmed devices
regardless.
can have like a sharpshooter fallacy.
Yeah, but just look at the consequences if that was a
Okay.
fact. If the Earth was, if the deviation of the gyro was due to the Earth's rotation, because the gyro is fixed in a position in space. And you would have to see that in many other situations. Coriolis. You would have your destination moving away from its place, whatever position it is. Once that you are detached from the ground, you're going on an airplane or helicopter, your destination is moving.
Either way.
Well,
By the way, you were
the
almost going to
claim,
say
like what Bob said,
about the gyro, and he never did. He never did claim anything about a 15-degree rotation out of the gyro. That would have
what
been
Bob
Bob,
said
if
was
anybody,
something
because Bob
related
didn't
to
claim
what's
that
above.
either. And then, if
I
that's
have
the
the
case,
clip actually. Hold on.
if one of the flat Earth globe busters, like proved 15 degrees of rotation through using some type of gyro, specialized gyro, then wow, give them a ton of fucking credit. Globers shouldn't be talking shit about them. They should be applauding them, thanking them, and giving them awards. They should be sucking their dicks. No, they just try to use this because they manipulate it, and they
Well,
try to use it and manipulate it.
The diagram that McToon was showing it was so dumb, and I did post a link. If he, talking about navigation and using triangulation and sextant, so they are just making bullshit.
Yeah, but they're trying.
When he did said that it doesn't need to use triangles.
They are trying to debunk navigation in general. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
They can refuse as much as they want, but they're not doing any rebuttal to us. They need to take it with the celestial navigation. They need to take it with the mariners, whoever is using this for their living, for their survival, to find their position on the ground. Not
I'm
with
not sure.
us.
I know Eli's been sharing it a lot lately, but there's this video showing a 3,000 mile flight, or it's 6,000 mile flight, but 3,000 miles of it was recorded very clearly with showing the stars and their rotation. And this is a hard one for the. I mean, I don't. Normally, I can tell you how the Globers are going to respond to an argument.
Yeah, but
But
it wasn't an airplane, wasn't it? In
this,
movement.
no,
Yeah.
this video right here that I just posted. I just posted a link. How a pilot ended the globe. Everybody should get well versed on this, because this. Unless they completely ignore it and we let it fizzle away, this argument is going to be like a big one it's really good for our side. Like, they really have nothing against us so far. I mean, I can't even imagine what they would say about this.
Do we need more evidence?
Nah, not at all.
No, anytime you can build up a better arsenal against them, especially things that get them stuttering and get them freaking backtracking where they don't have a good rebuttal or a good answer, or like
Sure.
where you can get them to pause for a minute and try to regroup. Like, yeah, you always got to hit them with something new, something that sets them back.
No, but
Somebody
they
new
do
was in here,
say,
PC verified with no roles. If you guys want to tackle that, or if this conversation is more important than addressing a
Bring
newbie,
in the new guy. Bring in the new guy.
you guys are have at it, man. You guys got some energy. Seems like you need to get some of that. Get some of that out, man.
Oh, yeah, dude! I was when I came in here. There's something I want to say, but it's totally non sequitur. It means nothing. But I got to, after my last time being in here a couple days ago, I just kind of got to remind people. You know what? I hate flat earthers almost as much as I hate Glovers. This whole community, both sides, are the most toxic fucking community altogether that I've ever thought could exist. Like, you guys are all dickheads, by the way, all of you.
Thanks,
Fuck you,
Lunatic.
Lou.
thanks, man.
Lunatic.
And appreciate.
He's using irony.
Is he?
Like a
Is
love-hate
he using
relationship, is it, Lou?
lubricant at least?
Get me a little hot, Lou. Calm down. Saying
I'm
what you
just being
want.
honest, man. Look, you can never. But eventually, I'm going to get banned from this place, and I'm going to go down with you remembering. Well, at least he was honest.
I don't really give a shit, Lou.
From one dickhead to another, that means a lot to us, Lounatic.
Oh yeah, and the jail is full of honest people.
You know, there's so much history with some of you guys in here that I'm not into, and I don't. You know, you guys. I don't really watch a lot of these videos. I'm gonna be honest with you. So you know, I don't have an opinion on it. But Lou, I think we got a lot in common. I don't care what nobody says about you. You're all right.
No, you're not. Actually, you don't even fit in the list of the dickheads that I'm thinking of. I'm just talking. It's not that everybody's a dickhead, but we are running rampant with dickheads. Like our side, their side, both sides, complete dickheads. Like especially the loudest voices, the ones with the big channels, the ones with the big followings, complete and utter dickheads.
Yeah, but
Yeah, man.
you see, I don't see that as being an insult, though. Good luck with that. Maybe that's the vocabulary that you need to use due to whatever terms and conditions of the server. But I wouldn't see that as an insult, honestly.
No, you know what? I don't. I'm just saying how I feel about it, and you can take it as an insult, or you could take it as a compliment, or you could just take it as one person's opinion. Like it doesn't. I don't intend it necessarily to be an insult. It's just how I see things. Like everybody's so standoffish. Everybody's always looking for a fight. Everybody's always like it's just it's I don't know. Very abrasive. Like the whole conversation.
Yeah, but the clue is in the name, isn't it? It's a flat Earth debate channel, 24/7. It's a subject that it tends to be very heated because it's very passionate. People are passionate about it. People have been fooled about it. Yeah, and it gets even more difficult when they try to share with their loved ones, and it's rejected. So it's infuriating when you try to
That's
pass
not
a
my
message
issue.
across. Yeah,
That's not
I
my issue.
understand.
All my loved ones, my friends, my family, my coworkers. When I bring this stuff up, I I typically win the conversation. Like they'll even admit that I've won the conversation. They
And you're complaining about the fight here.
they'll deny. I mean, they might not agree with me right away, but over time I'll chip away at them. Typically, they'll say that they're not well enough versed in it, that they don't know enough about these topics, and that I obviously have spent way more time like researching and learning things than what they have, and so they will chalk up their belief to ignorance. They will say like, you know what, I still think it's a globe, but I'm ignorant to the things you're talking about, and so given some good proofs like that video that I just posted, given some of these really obvious ones, like they almost always you do a couple of those, the black swan, that one. There's a couple other obvious things. You just talk about water seeking level. You talk about entropy, whatever. If you can get them to actually listen, they eventually come away at least not thinking you're crazy, like at the very least.
Yeah, but
And
you're
and
approaching differently. Yeah, I wouldn't have done it like that. I would start with pseudoscience and science.
where's the pseudoscience I talked about?
Just get them to define for you pseudoscience. What's the definition of pseudoscience?
Oh,
And
yeah,
let's
uh,
and
yeah. See, like
start with that.
that's in the less
Because we're
that's in the
talking about
lessons
natural
club.
sciences, aren't we? We're talking about
Yeah,
natural
that's in the
sciences,
lessons club. But I don't think you need to talk. I don't
And
think
once
you
that you
need
point
necessarily.
out,
I don't
yeah,
think
but
you
they
necessarily
think they
talk about
have science.
pseudoscience in
They
order to
think they
talk
have
about
science on
science.
their side. Yeah, but they think they have science on their side. They think
Yeah.
that someone somewhere already figured this out. The answers are out there somewhere. Everybody knows this. You knew that when you did your research and you found out that there is no evidence whatsoever for the globe that you thought that existed. So if they are not doing the homework, you have to do it for them. But you need to make it on a way that it's appealing
Right.
and they want to
Well,
know
I guess
more.
what I was getting at though is like people in real life, especially when you deal with them on a face to face, and you're going to be forced to see them again when it's your coworker, when it's your family member, when it's your close friends. Like close friends, actually, you might find out that they're not as close as you thought they were. But like family and coworkers and stuff, like when you're just, if you can be patient, you don't have to flat smack them. You don't have to give them a long session, but just throw something at them here and there. Be very patient. Just give them a little piece, a little piece. Eventually, you're gonna win them over because it's just the logical, like, train of thought. It's the logical conclusion. If they
Yeah,
and
but
if they
cannot
respect
force feed
you,
them. You cannot force feed them the red pill then if they're not ready. That's the problem,
well,
you
that
know?
and you have to give them time to actually absorb the information that they've been given. So
Absolutely,
when you do
as
when
well.
you do when you do chip away at them on this very patient pattern, like you just hit them with something every so often. Like, don't make
I
a
like to
big
get
deal
slow
out of it.
drip.
Don't make a big deal of it. Just plant that seed and let it grow in their head. And let them think on it. Let it absorb, and
Exactly,
then
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, I do pretty much the same procedure. When I was referring to the loved ones, I mean, we not specific in my case, but I know of a lot of people that have problems in family, and know, this is subject. They shouldn't be talking much in terms of friends and co-workers or workers, because it's gonna come back to you.
So I
It's
feel
gonna
like
bring a
that's a bit of
barrier
a
between us and them. You don't want that.
I feel like that's a bit of an issue though with the way that we handle things in forums online like this, where we're not face to face, where we don't think we're ever going to see the person ever again. We just try so hard to hit them with everything all at once, and like, do you accept this? Okay, well then hear this. And it's like the stuff never has a chance to actually sink in, and instead they just go on defense. And once they're on defense, nothing can absorb, nothing can be taken in. Uh if, if if your goal is to put somebody, to get them backpedaling or backtracking or on defense, like, you all you can do is make an example out of them for hopefully somebody listening, but they now hate you and will fight you more adamantly than ever.
Well, you need to point out the fallacies as well, because it's very important. Once we understand the fallacious reasoning of the person that we are chatting with about any subject, but you give them the wanted to point out the fallacy on the conversation. You give them the ball example. What you just said, I'll give you an analogy. If I'm on a sphere, I'll observe star rotation. Oh, I observe star rotation, therefore I'm on a sphere. You just give them the analogy back. Yeah. Even though you were talking about something else. Yeah. Or affirming the consequence, for example. Yeah. Um, and you give them the example. Well,
That's, I mean, it
the
is
map
good to
is
do
not
that. I
the map
agree.
is not the terrain. The map is not the terrain, isn't it? It's a reification fallacy. It's the same thing as pointing at the horizon and saying, "Look, that's Earth's curvature." That
I
is
agree.
affirming
It's
the
good.
consequence.
I
Yeah.
agree. It's good to point that stuff out, but I think the vast majority of people are so untrained and just illogical, where it doesn't matter if you explain them that they've committed a fallacy. They go, so what? So what? It's still my question.
So what?
Yeah, that's the way your
Yeah, I
average
didn't beg the
person
question. I didn't
responds
ask
to
any
that.
question.
No, if you say you're begging the question, they have no clue what you're talking about. If you explain what begging the question is, they go, yeah, so what if I beg the question? Answer my question. or respond to my fallacious point. They don't even have the ability to say that. They don't know that it's really fallacious, even after you explain it to them. They're gonna go like they want to talk on layman's terms. Like they draw a huge distinction between like if you want to get all scientific and using debate tactics and specificity and talking about fallacies, like this is foreign, completely foreign to 98% of people.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be,
Okay,
should it?
but
Because
it is. But it
you're
is.
speaking the same language, aren't you?
Yeah,
The
but no, but
problem
it
with
doesn't matter.
you have, he was quiet.
I talked with my mom recently again about all this, and it's about like space and vacuums and stuff like that. Like
Hmm.
like um when I when I talk about entropy or I talk about energy and I talk
You see
about
where the problem lies.
when I talk about matter, you know, like
Absolutely.
she has no clue. She has no clue what I'm talking about. I have to explain every little thing every single step of the way, like
Yeah, but
she's a
Lou,
third grader or fifth grader or whatever,
Lou,
wherever you start learning this stuff.
let me tell you one thing. You were just a regular guy, like every single one of us. We were just another guy, yeah. And all of a sudden, yeah, you come with all of this academic language, yeah. How come you now know more than anyone else in the family? Excuse me, you didn't even finish your studies.
Yeah. Well, no,
Yeah. So
now you're
how can
making
we
a
take it?
grand leap. I finished my
How can we
studies.
take?
In fact,
Yeah,
most of
but
my
how
family.
can we take it seriously? You never brought these things up before when you were graduating.
No,
Why
see,
now?
that's the thing is like
They're not taking you
most of my
seriously because you don't have a
almost
white
all my
coat.
family, like
That's what I'm
I've
saying.
always been pretty astute, like and understood the teachings that I was given and asked the questions. My sister told her husband like early on in their relationship that I'm the smartest person she's ever known. Like she uh like people do respect me and my opinions even if I am stepping outside of their
Yeah, but you
box.
don't have the
They go,
credentials. That's what I'm saying.
no,
You don't have the credentials. You don't have the
no,
white coat.
I'm not a
They don't take
professor.
you
I'm not a
seriously.
PhD.
Yes, they don't take you seriously. That's why.
That you think
Just
so because
go.
that does happen with so many people. But that's what I'm saying is
Yeah.
like the people close to me do take me very seriously. It might just be a way that I present myself, a way that I speak, like my confidence level, whatever else. But
Yeah, but
people do
those are the
take me
ones who don't know
seriously.
you. That's those who don't know you. They will say this guy might have a PhD on something. He might have a, he's a wise person. They never seen you
No, what I'm
before.
telling you is
Now,
the people who
those
do
that
know
grown
me,
up with you, but those
the
who
people
grown
who
up with
do
you
know me
normally,
also look up to me that way.
all right. Well, good for you, man. I'm happy for you. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, but normally
For
those are
me,
the
it's the other
difficult
way
people.
around. For me, it's the other way around. See, like the people who do know me, they go, well, maybe we should listen. Like he's a smart guy. He knows his shit. Like let's hear what he has to say. It's the people who don't know me who are so quick to write me off. It's the opposite of what you just said.
Well, we have completely different experiences. With me, it's completely the opposite.
Right. And you kept kind of interrupting, trying to project like your experience into what I'm saying, and it's a reversal.
Well, that's the way a lot of people actually identify as, you know. When I'm saying this, I'm talking just about myself. I identify with some of these things, but not all of them. But it's a generalized idea that I have coming from many flat earthers. It's normally at home or with the people that they interact most, friends and so on. And those are the difficult ones because they know you, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
you changed. You're not
Well,
in the group anymore. You're doing your research.
I think
You're on
that
this
might be it.
board.
That might be it with me though, is that I haven't really changed. I've always been this way. Like long before I was a flat earther, I was already this way. You see? Like I was
Yeah, but
always I
yeah,
was
but
already this way just without knowing all of what I know now.
But it's the obsession, isn't it, that we all have for the information, for the research, and the time that we've spent it. I mean, in my case, it's been the last 80 years or maybe even more. I don't know.
So,
I cannot pinpoint when I became a flat earther.
so
But,
Lou, so Lou, you were
that's the
always a tolerator of liars.
No, dude, give me a
Hey, I'm
break.
just messing with you, man.
No, that was not it. Like, no,
Hey,
I was always,
hey,
very,
hey.
yeah.
Hold on. I just want to apologize to you for going off on you, legitimately, but I should have toned it down. So I apologize for that.
No, you know what? I don't take offense. I'm always expecting it from you. But to tell you the truth,
that doesn't make me feel any better.
no, but to tell you the truth, like you didn't really say all that much. You could have been way worse. I had a bigger problem with AI. And I'm a little bit hurt that I had a good start of a conversation with Elijah, and then once the gang started joining in, all of a sudden he's trying to throw me under the bus. Like dude, he started out saying how he, even though I'm a pain in the ass sometimes, that he likes to hear my point of view. Like, why couldn't he have stuck with that and been consistent with it? Like that bothers me a little bit. And yeah, AI, we butt heads fairly often. He's the one who kind of derailed the conversation, in my opinion, anyway. But
Right.
but you stayed mostly quiet. You butted in. You got loud once, and I got loud back, and I don't take any offense to it.
All right. Cool. George, Jorge, I'm sorry, Lou. Jorge,
hey,
sorry
Quantum.
for interrupting your discussion. Please continue. I didn't mean to. I'm a worm. Go ahead, George.
No, not at all, man. Not at all. It wasn't a discussion. We were just talking.
Let me interrupt you again because I hate that Jorge shit. Would you correct Nathan the next time he calls you? Would you correct Nathan? He says Jorge. It drives me
yeah.
nuts.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Me too.
You're George.
That's
George.
correct.
Like Miggy. Like
George. Yeah.
Miggy's Miggy.
Yeah.
He's
That's
not.
correct.
He's not Iggy, where the
Yeah.
M is silent.
Now, the way I see it is because he has access to my email address and it's with a J, and that's why he calls me that. But that's
I
not
got
my
it.
name.
All right. What's up, Peach? Who else is in here? Miggy, what are you, silent?
Yeah, I'm just listening right now. I'm
You're
doing some yard work actually.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, I gotta tend to it now. They cut these two big trees that were in my yard, so I got a shit ton of branches that are everywhere. So
I
I'm
got
just
you.
listening right now.
All right. So sorry again, Jorge. What was your point before? Sorry about that. Please continue.
No point whatsoever. I think he knows my email address. He knows my real name. That's why. But he should call me by the avatar name.
No, I'm talking about the other point you were making that people have they notice the difference. I don't know. Please continue. Or not.
Perhaps the point was lost. I don't think we were on anything too specific.
Yeah, that's
It was
correct.
more
It was lost. Yeah.
conversational.
Let's talk about fucking liars then.
Oh shit! I'll give you the floor.
Well, we were talking about the liars. Yeah, we were talking about Jaren.
No way.
Yep.
Well, look, I wasn't trying to talk about him, but I did like I said, that this whole thing that Jan said became a huge point of contention, and yeah, I personally just am not a fan, like, of trying to infight or throw people under the bus or whatever. Like QE.
Oh God, we're not
There
going
you go.
down this.
That's
We're not
Kiwi's
going down.
forte.
We're not going down
Hey,
this road again.
yeah. No, that I
He loves
fine.
doing that.
Because I'll DM fucking AI and get him in there and set you straight.
Shit. Fine. Round two. Let's go. Ding, ding, ding.
That there wasn't a round. You got clocked before you got up from the fucking
I
chair.
was standing on my own against 4 or 5 people. Fucking, I think I did pretty well against all you.
You got a jaded point of view, man. You got.
Look,
You better take off.
how long were you listening, man? Like I said, Jaron should have never said what he said.
I wasn't.
And
I
people
wasn't.
people like Bev try thinking or whatever his fucking name is. Like his upward earth is fucking retarded, but it doesn't mean that we should be freaking trying to make examples out of them. In my
No,
opinion,
that's not Bev's. That's not Bev. Bev not thinking. That's not his idea. No.
No,
Better not think.
beyond the imaginary curve. That's the channel, right?
Yeah, that it's Dell and Rachy.
Dell.
I
My bad.
I didn't want to do that to Dell because, like I said, I always liked Dell ever since the beginning. And I know that I have a bias towards Dell.
Yeah.
He's just caught up in some horse shit. Now I already debunked it, and I let it be because he debunked himself, him and Rachy, but I just let it be. But it doesn't sound like they just want to let it be after that.
Yeah. No. Look, the whole upward Earth. It's basically flat Earth society nonsense. Like I'm totally okay with writing them off. Or even debunking them, but you're probably actually drawing more attention to it by doing what you've been doing than what would be given to it otherwise.
I don't think so. I can't stand by and allow that stuff to go on. I just debunked it, just straight up. It's an invalid hypothesis. Both of them did it. And it's an affirmative consequent logical fallacy. The end. Right? That's where it should have ended like a week and a half ago. But people get emotionally tied to their claims. It's like on a second grade playground, and they can't let it go because it's a pride. Then it comes down to a pride thing, right? Now, I'm not in that business. I'm in the business of when I first come out here, long before Flat Earth, my mandate was, I told myself, I said, listen, I'm going to expose pretender clown frauds. That's liars, right? And I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And I think I've held on to that.
Is that what you're doing with Jaron, though?
Yes, of course.
You're just saying he's a liar, or are you offended that he called you a scammer?
No, I could give a shit. I don't give it. Name calling? Dude, I'm retired military. I don't really care what people call me. I want substantive claims. My mission is to expose pretender clown fraud, liars, more or less Dunning-Kruger numpty dipshits. So whether they come from flat Earth, evo-tards, ball-tards, doesn't matter. Politics, people to sell me chocolate milk, I could give a shit less. If you're
so when it comes to Jaron, I'm sorry.
Jaron, well, there's nothing about Jaron. It's open and shut case. It's over.
Well, for the most part, his information has been good, has it not?
No, I wanted to expose him back in 2017, but a lot of people told me not to do it, so I didn't do it. That's my cross to bear. No, he's another pretender clown, just like shits it.
What does he say that is so wrong, other than the thing in contention right now? Like
I don't have an itemized list for you right now. I'm sure I could come up with one, but other than consorting or abiding with the enemy, I don't really need.
Now he's hanging out with McToon, and
I don't really need too much more than that, Lou.
Look, I've been saying it for years now. Like, we shouldn't be giving those people any time, any platform. We shouldn't be cooperating with them. We shouldn't be doing interviews. We shouldn't be going to their channel. We shouldn't be allowing ourselves to get clipped out and ridiculed on their channels for their benefit, where they're monetized and we're not. They make a living. They completely based off of making fun of flat earthers, and they get monetized for it. Like whereas we're demonetized trying to speak outside of the box. All they have to do is toe the line and use fallacious logic to make fun of us, and they make a fortune essentially. They at
Listen,
least make a
Yeah,
living
but they have
wage.
the ballers on
I,
their side. That's the problem. The
I
ballers are
got
giving
you.
the financial support.
There's another situation that happened. I think it was somewhere close to 2.5 years ago, and I made a mention of something in Skype, calling Jaron a scumbag, and he called me out on it and said it wasn't legitimate. And you know what? After he put his case out, I agreed. I said, you know what? You're right, sir. Let's go ahead and have a little meetup, just me and him, on a Skype call where I explained to him for over 2 fucking hours what science was. All right, natural science, everything. Right. I mean, down to the nitty gritty stuff that I've been doing for years. Right. So I explained it one on one with him, and then after that, he completely went opposite and claimed that what I told him, those characteristics, those traits, those each individual part of it, more or less, he didn't take those into account after I spent all that time educating him. And he doesn't know what science is. It's almost like I can't explain it.
I sort of think he does. I just think that he was playing to McToon, like to be cordial and shit. Like
No, you don't be court. No, you don't be. That's the Hanoi Jane shit. You don't do that. That's no. He's a dumb fuck. Now his motives, I could give a shit less. I can only evaluate the horse shit that comes out of his mouth, and he's a stone cold traitor, man. That's it.
I got to be honest. Okay, to be in full disclosure. Like I have a little bit of a bias towards it. That's why is because he was one of the very first people that I was watching that got me into Flat Earth. I haven't watched him in quite some time,
Right.
but something about his delivery style and everything else, he did a really good job of kind of hooking me into gaining more interest and joining these Discord servers and taking it a step higher. So like there's definitely value there. Like I think he's really like his delivery style is good for beginner flat earthers. Now when it comes to the nitty gritty and stuff like that, maybe he isn't completely there, but like it's just I sort of want to give him the credit that I feel like he deserves.
No,
Or
it just
you
need
know,
to
like
admit that he was wrong and correct himself. There's nothing
It's too
nothing
late for
major.
that. It's too late for that. He's already doubled and tripled, quadrupled down. It's over.
I mean, it's the same thing for people who got joined into Flat Earth because of Mark Sargent, and then they later on go, "What a tool," or Eric Dubé, "What a tool," or like there's so many others, like all these big names that really hook people in. Later on, you get into this forum or the deeper debates, and all of a sudden you go like, "Who are those guys? Like, what do they actually know?"
Fair enough. I haven't evaluated. Well, Mark Sargent, I understand. I like Mark, and I ran into him, like you said, when I
Now
first
you're
went on
going to
here.
use the same bias argument for Mark. You don't want me to talk shit about Mark, like
No. I mean,
yeah.
you can if you had substantial, evidence. Point this point A B C D. This point A B C D E F. I got you. I would have to take in that information and then evaluate it. Yes.
Yeah, I just think that we're doing damage to ourselves as a whole
No.
when we
No.
especially when we attack.
No. No. I'm sorry. Fuck no. No. You root out
Okay.
the fucking cancer. He has plenty of chance.
You have plenty of people to attack on the globe side. Like, why do
Yeah,
you
but
got
we're
to try to
talking about
focus
the
on Flat
leaders.
Earthers?
Listen, the Globetards have been vanquished for fucking years, dude. I have very little concern, unless they're PhDs like astronomy, astrophysics. The skank and foul baltards, oh no, they've been vanquished for years. So I'm not concerned about them. You guys can be concerned with that with
Do you know
them.
what kind
I'm
of a field
concerned.
day you could
I'm
do
not done
against
yet.
Mark if you wanted to?
I'm not fucking done yet. I'm concerned about the cancer within. 5 years ago, I fucking told you guys on a live broadcast that the biggest threat to flat earthers We're pretender clown flat earthers. And I'm telling you, that's the fucking problem. Now, you
Yeah,
and the rest of
it's
you
hard.
guys,
It's no.
what?
Look, I'm gonna interrupt. So like
Go
I've
ahead.
agreed. I was saying this what you're talking about quite a while ago also, and so like this is why I mean your argument here is very sound. Like what flat earthers who just tout non-scientific freaking bullshit, and when they start talking about God, who knows, like Tartaria and giant mountains being titans and stuff like that. Like this is the stuff that does do damage to us. So you have to be specific. You have to know your
Yes.
shit. It's absolutely true.
Yep.
You can't be fallacious. Like so, I mean, but on the other side of that, like even some of the best still make mistakes and they
I'm not.
still
This
fall
isn't a
for.
mistake. This isn't a mistake, Lou. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This is fucking lying doublespeak that has been presented to them, okay, in the back channels civilly, that they continue to do it. Now, I'm very abrupt with this traitorous horse shit. And if I tell you and we have a discussion and you continue down that road, see, I should have fucking flamethrowed your ass right in the beginning without even giving you a chance to speak. But after I've told you and we've reasoned it out together, and then you still go against, no, there's no fucking quarter. Sorry, brother. I'm going to hang you. Yeah, it's just, that's
I
what it
get
is.
you. I get you. Can you do the no quarter thing though without turning off the audience, without being abrasive like that? Like, can you
Right.
shut him up in a more cordial way that doesn't
No,
like make
no,
no?
that's not me. No, I need a public relations person. That's not me. You're
I mean,
you're going down. I don't know any way else to be, man. Just straight forward to the. I can't do it. Sorry, it's not me.
I just don't understand because to become a flat earther is a learning process. Yeah. And I've been learning for the last 8 years or 9 years or whatever time I've been a flat earther. And I'm eager to learn more and more and to come to different conclusions. But come on, these people are doing mistakes.
Those aren't no. Those aren't
They're
mistakes.
making claims. They're making
No,
claims that
you're
they cannot support.
you're conflating mistakes with flat out double speak and lying. That I'm
As
not talking
well.
about
Yeah.
mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah. As well.
Well,
I understand.
mostly everyone.
Yeah.
But now lying and double speaking, that's whole different categories, dude. It's a category here. Sorry. That shit, that dog doesn't hunt. It's just the way it is, man. So that's it.
No,
They're finished.
I agree with you, man.
I'm not concerned with people agreeing with me. There's going to come a point in time where you guys are going to be held accountable. I'm just going to put it to you that way and call me the bad guy, but you're going to be held accountable.
I'll tell you this: agreeing with QE is the easy road, not the high road.
You don't have to. I don't care about agree, disagree. That's a category there. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
you made.
agreeing with it's easy to agree with you. It's very hard to disagree with you. If you want to do that,
It's common
you're
sense,
right.
isn't it? Most of
But
these things is common
once you've
sense.
reasoned it out with QE, and if they still come to the conclusion that they've reasoned out that's wrong, then it is time to just hang them by it. You know, there's no point in continually reasoning with them, getting to a point, and then continuing to spread that information that's clearly wrong.
Yep.
So yeah, he offers them the olive branch to come in and reason, and if from there you take it or leave it, then it's on you. That's your responsibility.
Yep.
a revolution every now and again is a good thing. Cleans up our house. Yeah, and the house needs cleaning up.
Well, I have a problem when flat earthers being challenged by other flat earthers take it personally, and then they talk about this server specifically, that we don't let people deviate from the 3 points when that's completely untrue. I think it's a valid thing. We should be held accountable for the things that we say just as much as any glober that comes in here. So if I come at Napalm, say, just for example, if I ask him who has ever directly measured this uniform increase in voltage in the air, who's ever directly measured it, how did they measure it, and I need the measurements and the demonstration of the measurements. That's pretty reasonable. And then when they're telling me to go test it, that's a burden of proof reversal. Like, I didn't make the claim. So that kind of stuff, and then that Napalm goes and tells, other people, like, you can't go over there and deviate from the 3 points. That's bullshit.
Uh, I mean, Napalm too. He's a very intelligible person. He knows his stuff about a lot of things. He's great to talk to, but he's one of these kind of electric universe kind of guys, right? Like, and
I'm
you're
not.
right. A lot of that stuff is speculative. It's not actually tested, and um, yeah, I'm not really sure how that conversation exactly went, but
Well,
um,
it's in this live stream voice text. If you wanted to look it up, you could find it, and you could see the conversation that I had with him.
yeah,
But
Napalm,
regardless,
I gotta tell you, he's one of my favorite guys to talk to, actually. Like, but when it comes to that, I don't agree with him necessarily. Like, it's like I think they're, but I also offer them the uh at, like the possibility. I like that they're willing to think on another level to speculate. I am a
where they
fan of
got that from, right?
speculation.
They got that from the Feynman lectures, like Volume 2. Okay, fine. You got that from the Feynman lectures. So where was it ever proven? Where was it ever measured or demonstrated to be measured? Well, how can it be replicated?
Right.
How is
If he says you have to go and prove it, that you're absolutely right. It's a burden of proof reversal, but yeah, like they should be, if they're gonna tout that and go around speaking it, then one of them, at the very least, one of them should go and actually measure it and show you the method of which they did so.
Well, they're bad mouthing the server because we challenge each other. That exact reason, or that exact thing, us challenging each other just as much as anyone else, that nobody gets a free pass just because they're a flat earther, just because they sound intelligent, that nobody gets a free pass to just make claims without being challenged in here. That's why I hold this server up, because we challenge each other just as much as anybody. That
Yeah, well,
shouldn't be something that you go around and spreading a rumor that we are a certain way that we're not. Just
that's one
just
of
because,
our that's
and you
one of
weren't able
our
to create your claim.
positives. Like when it comes to pros and cons, like that's definitely a check on the pro side, is that we do that. We've got plenty of like bad points too, and just like any person, like if you can reflect inward on yourself, like you got a lot of good qualities, but it's what's harder is realizing the things that you could improve on. Like there's a lot of things that this server is sort of lacking in.
Well, everybody can agree that no one's perfect, and we all have our own personalities in here, and that's here nor there. It doesn't matter. This server should be accredited to the fact that we challenge each other, and we shouldn't let anybody get a free pass. If somebody comes in here touting a claim that they can't back up, we, of all people, should be the ones to say so.
Yeah, I get bothered though from time to time when like I can't give a perfect example, like a specific example right now, but there's things that I've said where all of a sudden it sounds like it's wrong think. I know I used that term a couple of days ago. It's like all of a sudden you get piled on, and it's like, no, you're going to be silenced or muted or whatever else. You're not allowed to speak on that thing. You're going to change the topic. You're going to move on. You're not allowed to talk about it. That right there is inconducive to truthing.
Like what?
Like I
Tell us
said, I
what.
told you, I prefaced it. I prefaced it, QE. I said I don't have a specific example, but this is something that happens.
Well, if you don't have an example to support your claim, then it's
All right, I'll message you the next time it happens. How about that?
okay. All right. It never came out of my lips. I have never said to a single person, "You can't talk about this," unless it's
No, I don't get it. I don't get it out of you, actually. No, it's other members. Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. All right. Well, I haven't heard it. If I do hear it, I usually snuff it out. So
No, you'll either remain quiet and wait till it's nearly done, and then just call the person a numpty dipshit, and then like laugh at them. But you're not stopping them from speaking.
all right.
Yeah, we can talk
Well,
about the things that we cannot talk about. So let's move on and talk about the things that we can talk about. So go ahead.
Well, I just let them hang themselves. I'm a counter puncher by nature. Yeah. So what are we going to talk about? You better make it quick because I got a fantasy football draft coming up here in a few minutes.
I thought you did the draft like 2 weeks ago. I remember hearing this.
I do mock drafts so I can get because it's coming up at the end of the month. So I just do mock draft just to get a feeling for it. You know, like not taking kickers as my first
So you
fucking
take
pick and shit.
fantasy football pretty serious, huh?
Say again?
You take fantasy football pretty seriously if you're doing a mock draft.
No. I play for fun. No, not at all. I play for fun with a couple of friends. I've been doing it since about 2001. So I've been doing it for a long time, and I only got one league, so I'm not like crazy about it. I'm not spending thousands of dollars for it. It's just for fun.
Yeah,
Just
but
for-
in your one league, you really want to dominate. You're trying to be the best.
of course.
Yeah, of course you are.
Why would I play if I didn't want to do? Yeah, I do a lot of talking shit, but there's a few people that I don't know personally, so I don't do that. But there's a couple people I do, so I talk shit to them. It's just fun, man. It's something to do.
It's fine.
And
For the first time ever,
Yeah, just
joined a March Madness pool this last March, and actually did halfway decent. Even though I don't follow college basketball at all, I just like my coworker who does. He's a big sports guy. Like I was just like he was doing like 4 different March Madness pools, and I just
Right.
copied all of his picks, and I was like, let's see how I do.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
play
it should
to
be called
win.
handball rather than football. It's played with a hand mostly.
Hey, Lou, look at Northern Rebellion. He's got a good gift down there.
All right, let's check it out. Yeah, of course you do. You always, if you're gonna, dude, it's the same thing with like me being a carpenter. I like, and I mostly do like resides and like, so it's not like new construction bullshit. It's like solving problems and undoing things, finding problems and fixing problems.
Sure.
So like, but nothing is worth doing if it's not worth doing right.
Yes, correct. I love that philosophy. That is pretty funny, Miguel.
Thanks. Let's kick some glovers.
I got a saying for that. If you can't do something right the first time, when are you going to have time to do it the second time?
Well, that's the thing is you can do you can do what you think is the best the first time, and this is where humbling yourself. Like you won't be perfect every time.
That's
You
true.
could do something. You could put all of your effort and all of your know-how into something, and find out that it failed. It didn't work, and
That's true.
now you're getting called back to a job, and you got to undo your work, and you're going to investigate. You're going to see where the failure was, and you're going to learn from that experience, and you're going to do something to resolve it, and you're going to make it. And if you're good, you're going to learn how to remedy that the next time you go and do that situation. Like you're going to always fix your problem and learn from your mistake.
It sounds like you're saying, what was it? There's another, hold on a second. I'll remember.
I mean, I agree completely with what you said. Also, like if you can do it right the first time, then you won't be back for a second time. Like if you can, if you already have made those mistakes and learned those lessons, and you can make sure to go the extra mile to do it right the first time, which is what makes you a higher caliber carpenter or higher caliber anything that you're doing.
Yeah. So I was going to say necessity breeds invention. Depends on how great the necessity. You
Yeah,
will a new way.
necessity is the mother. That's the term. Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah.
So, so like often also in carpentry, like you see a lot of decorative moldings and things like that, that are there, and you're just like, why is that cove molding there? Why is that quarter round there? Why did they do this? And you find out it was to cover a gap or an inconsistency. Once you tear it apart,
That's a
you go,
reification fallacy, man.
oh.
Inventions don't give birth.
Yeah, well, things like that. Like my father, I grew up with an expert marine carpenter. Like this guy, my father, he could build like with a template for a cabinet, and it would end up being watertight against the bulkhead of a curved hull, like with a curved hull, you know?
Yeah, and I
So,
don't think you do that right the first time. That's one of those
no,
things that you
exactly.
get in there.
Yeah.
You get in there, you get it close, and then you check it, and then you fine tune it, and you check it, and you fine tune it again, and you check it.
Uh-huh.
And once it's really good, now it's in there.
Well, you want to get it to where you measure as many times as you need to. So when you're dealing with the template on a curved surface, then there's a lot of variables that can happen because it's not a perfect curve. So you
Yeah,
can't.
no,
Yeah.
it's curving
So,
here. It's curving less here than it is there. Yeah, exactly.
so
So
you're never going to get that perfect exactly. I run into those situations working on guitars, like for doing the nut, where you have to file these little perfect freaking grooves. They actually have to be slanted down slightly too, so the gripping edge is on the front side, and they have to be a perfect diameter pretty much. So, like, I figured out how to do things like that with the actual string itself, or one gauge lighter string with some emery cloth to make the groove a perfect. So that took many years of me testing myself and working with these instruments.
yeah, you have to be presented with it. So the thing about um the necessity or the mother of invention thing. So like typically we only invent things when we have a problem to solve, right? Like you don't just invent something out of the blue. Like I just, there was no need for this, no necessity for this. I just thought I'd create it. That doesn't actually happen. There's You're looking for a solution to a problem, and you create that solution. And that's how, like, typically real invention is actually made. You go home at night going, fuck, how am I going to fix this? How am I going to do this? I have a problem.
Yeah, exactly. Especially.
Eureka! Eureka! I have a fucking answer. You dream on the shit, and you wake up in the morning and go, I know what I'm going to do. And that's how you know things like smartphones and like when it comes to technology, these things were not invented out of necessity. They were not, at least for us. We had no, there was no gap that we were needing in order to get these things. It's what they needed to control us better, or to spy on us better, to know what we're thinking better. Like the necessity of that invention was not for us. You didn't buy they didn't create smartphones so you could live easier on your smartphone. No, they did it so that they could track you better on your smartphone. They had that necessity. You have to understand that about technology. That's the way technology always works.
What about the technology in my toaster? Can they track that?
Okay. I guess, yeah, the water wheel too, like things like that. Like, so I guess I can't just lump all technology in there. I would
Yeah,
say,
you tried to do that and shit, but
yeah,
I
I can't
stopped
just
you.
lump, I can't, yeah, no, I can't lump all technology. What I would say is like all this smart, anything labeled smart, or anything like when it comes to internet technology, like everything related to the internet, it wasn't there for us. It was there for them.
What are you talking about? Integrated circuits, digital photography, the semiconductor industry? You saying that?
No, no,
By
no,
the
no, no, no,
way,
no, no, no. Photography is semiconductors. There's a lot of use to those in technology that isn't related in spying and controlling, and it's not necessarily even connected to the internet, right? Like,
oh yes, it is.
no,
That's
not
that.
every semiconductor is connected to the internet.
Yeah, but semiconductors are the driving force behind all modern technology. You can't get there without it. And that was brought. And that was brought
I
to you
think you're
by.
being difficult on purpose.
And that was brought to you by what?
The semiconductor that was, what was that brought on by? I know the transistor was another issue, but
That they're transistors or semiconductors.
yeah,
What was that brought
that's actually been in contention. Like, I don't actually know the answer
in
to this, but like,
contention? What the fuck you gonna do? You gonna go out and fucking take your open-toed sandals out there to Intel, Broadcom, Advanced Micro Devices, and you're gonna fucking picket them and say, this is all bullshit. Are you fucking for real?
no, you're trying to pigeonhole me here. You understand my argument?
I don't. It's inconsistent
Yes,
and
you do.
incoherent.
No, you do. You do. When it comes to like internet
No, I don't.
technology, like everything that's been that all the big tech corporations right now are into, when it comes to your smartphone, your smart thermostat, your smart refrigerator, your when it comes to Twitter and Facebook and all of these things, like all your social media, when it comes to
Well,
having high speed internet
that's
in every home and all this stuff,
no.
all this shit was not
No,
invented because you had a need for it. It
too
was
vague.
invented because they had a need. They had a need to
Too
watch you
vague.
more closely.
Too vague, and it's an ambiguous hand wave. I don't deal in that business.
Have you heard my my point that anything with the word smart attached to it, aside maybe from smart water, but that's not necessarily left out either. Anything with smart, you can just replace the word smart and call it spy. So like a spy phone, a spy fridge, a spy thermostat, a spy toilet, a
Yeah,
spy friggin'
a
like
spy toilet.
yeah, yeah, yeah. A spy doorbell, a spy doorbell. Like look at Ring doorbells. It's a smart doorbell,
Holy
right?
shit, Lou.
Yeah, dude. Everything. If it's connected to the internet, it's collecting your data.
So
If
is
it's
the
collecting
smart
your data,
uh,
it's collecting your. It is spying on you.
so is
That's
the
all there
smart
is to
wait
it.
a minute. So is the smart toilet the spy toilet? Is it a probing Uranus by chance?
How would that be a problem, though? You said it's collecting data, and I acknowledge that.
Collecting
How would that be
data
a
from
problem?
Uranus.
Collecting your data is an invasion of your privacy,
What kind
especially
of
if you aren't aware that it's doing so.
what kind of
You didn't
collection
answer
of
my
data?
question, though. How is that a problem?
What kind of collection of data are they doing on Uranus?
like wearing a Fitbit, or
Not
smartwatch,
Uranus,
and
it's
all that
Venus.
stuff, where they're checking your pulse and where they're watching your friggin' steps and
They're
they're trying to
checking your
see your activity.
pulse
Like, all this stuff is invasive. It's invasive technology.
through Uranus. They're
Yeah,
checking
but
your
how is
pulse
it?
through the spy
I
toilet
acknowledge,
through Uranus.
I acknowledge the invasive part, but you still haven't answered my question. How is it a problem?
It's a problem because it's what the data that they're using to feed their algorithms to know you better than you know yourself, to create your digital twin, to freaking try to take us farther into what is essentially like, you know how nothing seems to make sense anymore. Everything seems to just like,
No, just what you're saying doesn't make sense.
Yeah, if you're overly concerned,
Nothing
no, no,
makes
no.
sense.
if you're overly concerned with Uranus being probed, you should try.
All right,
No,
you're overly
wait a minute.
concerned with
I
your
wasn't
joke.
done.
You're just waiting for somebody to laugh at it. It's
No,
funny, Sonny. It's funny.
no Globitol. That's the new drug. That's for you. No Globitol. Remember the name.
You have to understand that we live now in a technocracy. Like the tech giants, like all of their data collection, that data is more valuable than gold. It's more valuable than platinum. Like their ability to know you, predict you, to advertise to you, to know your actual genetic structure. Like when it comes to biotech, oh my God,
That's
does this
normal.
get incredibly problematic? Like biotech, like where they want to know everything about everything about your body, whether when it comes down to your blood pressure, your blood type, your pulse, your genetics, everything else. This is actually, they're going into like it is eugenics, in fact, what they're doing with the V and all that stuff. Like and they're not even hiding it. They talk about what they now call liberal eugenics. Liberal
You're not part
eugenics.
of the control group, by the way.
How do I know? Am I part of the? How do I know I'm not part of the control group?
Tragic, but informative. Or so I'm told.
All right, so you're an interesting one to just pop up. So, like, did you just agree with me that these are issues, that this is incredibly important?
I haven't heard an issue yet. Like, what's the issue? What issue? You haven't said an issue yet. You said someone's collecting information about people.
Not someone. The government, like the tech giants.
By the way, Lou, that was me. I'm playing with the soundboard, man.
All right,
I'm listening.
the tech giants, and the governments are in conjunction with each other. So, like, the governments, basically, it's one thing when you separate private companies and you say like private companies can do this so they can advertise to you, but they're not private. They're pseudo private companies that have the government in their back pocket.
Yeah, but
They're all taking.
isn't it you giving permission to these companies to use your data? Isn't that how it works? Without you accepting terms and conditions, these things don't work. You need to accept it.
No, I don't
But
need to
are
accept
you
it.
willing to live
I
without
need
them?
to accept it if I want to use their products, but I don't need to accept it.
Are you willing to live without them?
Um, it's been
Well, it
proven
depends on the
that
product, right?
so far, I've limited my use of a lot of these things. Right, like I try to not use as much of this stuff as I can, but I'm talking to you right now, right? I'm still connected to the internet, and my data is still being collected. So clearly, I haven't taken enough initiative to separate completely from it.
The black
But
helicopters are coming for you now.
The
I mean,
simple
I
fact that
take
you're
a.
standing here listening to me means you've made a glorious contribution to science.
Bro, just go like that guy, the American soldier that crossed to North Korea. Just go there. That's it. No more digital you.
Honestly, we really should be ditching our phones and ditching the internet altogether. We should just be going. We should be taking a step back 50 years.
Hey, don't tell me
That's what
what
we
to
should be
do.
doing.
I have a slightly different theory, a different philosophy in that. Is that I think we should have the technology to restart things on
The
hand. And like in the
technology
Boy
is not.
Scouts, like when you're in the Boy Scouts, you learn how to make fire, right? A
That's
lot of
great.
friends I have don't know how to make fire, and I'm amazed when I learned that they don't know how to swim, they don't know how to ride
Yeah,
bicycles, they don't know how to make
that's good
fire.
stuff.
I'd
What I'm
say
saying is,
that the
why can't we
knowledge
just
is
do the
more
stuff
important than
like
the tech.
the more
The
basic tools,
technology
just
is
lock
not
them
here to
dead?
elevate you. It's here to
Well,
enslave you.
I get what Orion's saying. I get what he's saying, but I was gonna kind of yes and what he's saying to say that the knowledge to actually make things is more important than the thing. Because if you can go out anywhere in the world and make the thing, then why do you need the thing itself? You get what I'm saying now?
I mean, just a chance to
Hey,
restart as opposed to being bombed back into Stone Age. Like, I don't think we should be so fragile, is what I'm saying.
Well,
We're never been more
yeah,
fragile. The more we rely
that's
on
true.
technology, the more fragile we are.
Technology is a product of darker times, not lighter. Like, it's a prosthetic for intelligence, not a sign of intelligence.
Like, I'll give you an example of what I mean by this. So, the Amish. Everybody knows what the Amish are, what the Amish do. No electricity, horse and buggies, etc. So, what I'm saying is, I don't want to go be an Amish guy, but I'll
I kind of
devote
do.
like a couple. I'll be glad to devote like 2 or 3 weekends out of the year to go and devote my time
Yeah.
somewhere, my hands and my brain and my eyes or whatever, to go and maintain some horses and a horse and buggy and a blacksmith shop at the end of town. I will go and devote my time to that just so that when electricity does fail for whatever reason, we can at least restart more quickly, is what I'm saying. Like, I'm willing to do that.
Backup plans.
No, if you're Amish, there is no restarting. You never even pause. The day doesn't change. Everything continues on like
That's
nothing
true.
happened.
Some of them, they have certain ways of doing things using kind of pneumatic type stuff without electricity. And so they can still have tools. They can still be building, doing things. There's some video I watched, I'm like, that's interesting. That's cool. Not all of them are all just horse and buggy and like have like a freaking pitchfork in front of a barn or some
Yeah,
crap.
there's
Some
different
of them
types of
actually have some
Amish.
tech.
Yeah, some of
Yeah.
the Amish are like fake
So
Amish.
there's
They're not all the way Amish.
some, but I wouldn't say it's fake. I'd say that it's a good point of reference to look at. Like, there's more than one way to do things. There's a lot of different options.
and then there is the way of doing things.
Well,
The way.
I think you guys are mostly not all of you, but mostly so in love with your technology that you're actually like you're not just opposed, but you're a little bit offended by the idea that these things could be doing you harm.
What? Harm? No
I've
way.
started to. Hey, how dare you?
I love this thing.
I love my phone. I had sex with it like
No, I
7
sleep with
times
it.
yesterday.
Actually, but I sleep with it. Right next to my heart.
Oh my.
Right next to my heart, right? Like, it's like the closest thing to your heart.
Sleeping next to a phone, like right next to your head or your heart, is probably not the safest place to put a radioactive object for multiple hours at a time. We have no idea what's
Yeah.
going to happen. This is
Just
kind
kidding.
of
I don't
Yeah, but
sleep with it,
disturbing.
but I see
yeah, but
people
you,
sleeping with it, which is my point. People do sleep with it on their chest, on their back, on their
yeah,
on their
Well,
pockets.
that's why. That's
let
why.
me
Yeah,
ask
You
you,
need to
like, what is
define.
your definition of
or they'll put it under their
Yeah, you need
pillow.
to define the word harm, isn't it? A little harm, medium harm. You
Long
need to
term.
Well,
define levels
if
of harm.
you read the manual for the original cell phone, it's not supposed to be close to your head.
what is it? What is the definition of sleeping with your phone? Because I've heard this statistic before. Like Does that mean it's in the bed with them, right next to their head, or does that mean it's on the nightstand next to it, still turned on, or does that mean
So
like
think about people like how people put things in their pockets like money or keys, or even women put money on their breast,
Yeah,
like in their
that too.
underwear. So putting their phone inside of their clothing and just sleeping with it.
I don't think that's what it is.
So many people walk with their
I
phone in
don't
their
think that's what it
pocket
is.
too.
People aren't
I
going
think.
to
Well, I
bed
think
with
it's any
Yeah,
type of
the
sleep, like whether
the
it's in your
manufacturer.
clothes or whether you're holding it.
On your chest.
The
A lot,
Yeah,
a
the
lot of girls I see
iPhones.
them putting them in their
All right, let me ask
in their
this:
dressing room.
does anybody here turn their phone off before they go to bed?
Yeah, right.
sleep
Airplane
better
mode,
The
too.
actually.
recommendation
I
for the
just put it on
iPhone
airplane
was
mode
20
to leave it in the
centimeters
living
away from you. 20 centimeters away from you, and any given time. 20 centimeters away due to radiation. We put them in the pockets, like you guys just described it. But the manufacturer recommendation for radiation levels is 20 centimeters.
Let's have some Doctor
And
Strangelove to
people
join us.
and people give these things. I'm sorry, Ron.
No, I was just making a stupid joke.
So nobody in the
Yeah,
room turns their
not
phone off
funny.
before they go to bed.
Yeah, I do. I
You
set
do.
my alarm
I
and
was just thinking of
turn my phone off and put it on charge.
Good for you. Good for you. I don't,
Yeah,
but it's not. I don't have it in the bed with me either. It's over 20 centimeters away. But
yeah. It's still on my bedside table, but it's off. But it's, as you know, it's still on when it's off. Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, but you guys are forgetting one thing. When
and
when it's
children hold.
charging, when it's connected, when it's plugged in, when normal is plugged in at night, it's a different range of radiation. That one is not specific. It's powering up, so obviously it should be generating more radiation.
Anyway,
I mean,
this whole thing.
if you're
If
concerned with
people,
radiation, you're not concerned with the radiation of your Wi-Fi device at home, spreading throughout, not just yours, your neighbors.
look,
if you live
I'm not
if you
concerned
live in a
about the eight
building,
hours of radiation while you sleep. It's about the
yeah,
other. It's about the other 20 or 16 hours while you've got it in your pocket while you're awake. That is probably more troublesome when it
Yes.
comes to the radiation. So,
Is it more than
So
radiation, or is it the ungrounding? Because we could get kind of like signals in the body, whatever charges radiation. But if you're grounded, a lot of that stuff gets passed. I mean, because the radiation is gonna be there from many sources, but the grounding thing, I think it might.
radiation
what I'm
builds
saying
up
is, it's
too.
not so much about the radiation. It's more about the data collection. These things literally are listening to your breathing while you sleep. By the way, they are learning your sleep schedule, and they can figure out whether you're sleeping good or not. If you're having nightmares based off of your breaths, you have no idea how sensitive these microphones are. They are tracking everything. In fact, like my phone a few years ago said, like it gave me some notification saying that and I turned it off, like so it wouldn't do it anymore. But it doesn't mean it's not tracking it. But it said that your normal bedtime is this time. Would you like me to set an alarm? Or like, and then it reminded me that I was up past my normal going to bed time. Like,
Now that
because
you're talking about
you know how it tracks that? You know how it tracks that? Because it
So it
knows
benefits.
how you breathe.
Yeah. So you just gave an example of it benefiting you. I've
That's
been
not
asking you for a while now. What's an example of it working against you?
that is an example of it working against you. It's them learning you. Like
The
instead of you
alarm.
doing what you want to do. It's trying to tell you what to do. It's
I've got
trying
a
to say,
problem. Wait, no, no.
hey,
I don't. I
wait.
don't quite
It's trying to say,
comprehend.
hey, wait, you should go to bed. You normally go to bed by now. I
Yeah.
don't need
How
a
is that a
fucking
problem? How is
mommy
that
or
a
a
problem?
daddy in my phone telling me when to go to bed.
Oh,
Well,
okay, all right.
actually,
See, I don't
that
know.
information can be translated into, let's
Well,
say,
it
a
tells you when to get
advertisement
up.
for you specifically. If you, let's say, a lot of people have issues like health issues or whatever. Let's say the health device on the smartphone can track whatever you're saying, symptoms you're having, and like he's saying, your breathing and your heart rate. In your ads when you woke up the next day, and you might be wondering, hey, my heart or my breathing is kind of offset. You're gonna have recommendation ads for that kind of that kind of situation that you're
Wait,
having.
so
It's gonna be
is that the
personalized for you.
so is that the worst problem you can think of, Lou, or can you think of a
No,
problem
no,
that's
no, no,
worse
no,
than
no, no. It's another example of the
The
intrusiveness of
the
these
alarm in the
devices.
morning. It's the alarm in the morning that is a pain. You set the alarm, yeah. You set the alarm yourself, and then you don't get upset with the alarm, but you get upset in the evening when it tells you as an alarm to go back to bed.
You know
Orion, are
what
you?
was
Orion,
when
are
I
you?
grew up? You know what was the alarm? The alarm was the sun, the sunlight, and the roosters and the birds singing. That was the alarm.
Orion, are you a transhumanist?
don't know what
Yes.
that means.
I like the who did the sound effect of yes. That was quick.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know what that means. So I don't know.
Do you think that we should merge with machine? Do you think that like merge with AI, like Elon Musk
Yes.
says?
Well, I'm a libertarian, so I would say such things should be legal, I think, so far, but I wouldn't suggest it to anybody. And I wouldn't do it
Do you
myself.
think it would be good for humanity to do so?
No. Just like
Why
smoking
not? Why
cigarettes.
not?
Just like smoking cigarettes, I don't
Hold
think
on a
it'd be
second.
good for humanity.
So if I lose, hold on a second. Hold on a second. So if you would lose one of your limbs, it wouldn't be fair to put you on an artificial one, would you?
I like one. If I lose an arm and I can get like a mechanical one that helps, yeah, I'll take it.
I
I
don't want
probably
it.
would too, but I gotta lose
I'll
a
go on
loose
with one
limb.
arm. I'll go
See,
on with one arm.
double speak.
What about pre-crime? Could these phones be a precursor to a system where
Ooh.
they're gonna start taking people and arresting them for pre-crime?
They already are. They already are. They've already done it through social media. Watch the trends of things that people post, the things that they're looking up on websites and so on and so forth, and flagging them as a possible threat. And there have been people who have been arrested for things that they have not yet done based off of suspicion.
Well, guys,
That's
I don't know.
Yeah, they need to
that
be
is the question about the
rehabilitated.
bionic. That question about the bionic arm was interesting because if you do take a bionic arm, then I think you need a chip to make it work. Now, it's an interesting question. I'm not sure whether I would actually. I'd have to really think about whether it's worth getting that or not having an arm. Like, fuck, that'd be an interesting.
Let me give it an argument against the idea. So, like, you've ever bought a piece of software or a piece of technology that was no longer supported,
Yeah,
where you kind of left hanging?
yeah.
What happens? What happens when you put a device into yourself and it stops getting updates and it malfunctions?
Yeah,
I'll manage it then. When it start giving problems, well, I guess I'm gonna have to fix the problem, right? Concentrate on the solution.
What about a hidden kill switch
Because
in all of?
what is it gonna do? Like oh, now it's not working properly. What is it gonna do? Take over
What
your
if what
body?
if what if it's hijackable? Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
gonna
What if
Gonna
it's connected to the internet? And
gonna
what if somebody could literally
no 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 no. Gonna
hack it and control your arm
hey,
for you?
I
yeah,
think
but
this
you're
is.
gonna buy the
Go
top
ahead.
of the range. You're gonna buy the top of the range arm, isn't it? They're gonna start selling these things. If you like this one, you can press this much psi pressure on when you press, when you
Yeah.
squeeze or lift it or whatever.
What if
You're gonna get
somebody
the premium one, more expensive.
what if somebody hacks your arm and makes you shoot a fucking bullet into your fucking head?
Damn. I think that action, I mean, we're talking about technology and the access to information, whatever. The devices, there is a dark side of the internet. Everybody knows this, but you can see things find online that you probably only heard of other people talking about. And there's information out there and things out there in the webs right now that everybody has access to. That is
That's,
Uh,
Very,
come
very
on, they
cool.
can read
are
your
you
Is
talking
that
about the
something?
regular web or the
they can
dark
read your
web?
thoughts, man.
Information is away from the type of information that we should be concentrating in about. Like solving problems, concentrating on, I guess, family health, wealth, and the way of doing things correctly. Like you were saying, doing something the correct way, right, Lou? You were saying something like that.
Of course, yeah. If
But
we can become more independent, more self sufficient, without the need of the government and technology, that's always beneficial to you, your family, and your community and humanity. Then you're also less of a you're in less of a problem when something does happen, a solar flare or an EMP or just a server outage. Like when the
Why?
power goes down, when
Why?
the power goes down, you don't fucking get bothered because you have a community there that knows each
You
other,
guys are
that is there
renting
to support
already.
each other, that is, and you have an infrastructure that is self sufficient, that can produce without technology. With you
Really?
might need certain technology.
You willing to start from scratch? You willing to start from scratch? Why would you do that? Why not
No,
together, all
no, no,
together
no, no, no.
as a
I think we could.
society, and
I
kick all
think
the
we could have.
governments out and
No, stop.
abolish all of these things that you are against, but
No, I'm
do it
not saying to
together?
abolish them, but I think we could restructure it in a way where
Absolutely.
we should be sufficient, self sufficient, and we should have all these things
That's what the
operating.
countries are meant to be. Every
Pause for
country
a
should
second.
meant
I'm
to.
talking. We should
Every
have these things
country is meant to be
operating
self-sufficient, man.
without being reliant on internet technology. Like right now, what
Absolutely.
happens is if the internet goes down, you can't use your credit card and you can't buy a Starbucks coffee. That's the way it is now. I want to be able to get my coffee
What about
with
what about pacemakers?
what about them? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, we went to prosthetics, but or you guys did. I guess I was just listening, but nobody mentioned pacemakers. That's I mean that would be technology that you put inside of your body to help regulate your heart
the
rate.
argument started with me talking about internet connected technology. So if your pacemaker is connected to the internet, I don't think you should put it in you.
So you would think that they would have to deal with their heart problems, without any kind of something that would help their heart be
Yeah, but
regulated.
hold on. It couldn't be connected to the internet because, pacemaker has to work with connection or to the internet or not. It's completely
How
independent.
how
Yeah,
are
I
you
yeah,
certain?
mean,
it works exactly. A pacemaker doesn't connect to the internet, but
doesn't
if they
connect
start
to the
making
internet.
them where they are, because I can totally see that technology. I'd be surprised if it doesn't exist. Like, here's a smart pacemaker, a
It
spy
could be
pacemaker.
something simple as an injection to put a microchip inside of you. It doesn't need to be a mobile device that you need to wear it with you. You already been tracked.
Yeah, look, if you're putting your life in the hands of the technocrats and the so-called the so-called scientists or the doctors or the pharmaceutical industry or any of these people, or even if you're putting your life in their hands, like, dude, I mean, I understand you might have been dead, but they are not your savior. These people are doing a terrible job in every instance. You can
Yeah,
look
that's what
all
I'm
around.
saying.
and they're
But
doing a
that's what I'm
terrible
saying.
terrible job, like you're
You,
saying. But they're getting paid, so they
you
keep being
need
at
to
it
reach
because they are
the
getting paid. They're
countries,
making money.
the country. Yeah, but the countries need to restructure the government. They need to kick the current governments out. They need to abolish every single external agreements, and they need to start restructuring themselves as the country, as the people, and
Yeah,
start
but
from there.
if
You
you
establish
rely
first, and then
if
you
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 rely
abort
on
this
their
system.
technology
Yeah,
to live, if you rely on
yeah.
their technology to live, you're now in indentured you're now in indentured
But that's
servitude
what
to
I'm
them.
saying. Absolutely, and every country will have to fight for themselves. If they need to disconnect internet, that's what they're going to do. Whatever decisions need to be taken as a society, not as an individual. Because I have nothing against people becoming but that is the surrendering part. First, you need to take over the country first. It's
Well, why do
pointless
you
for you
think
to
that?
become a
Why do you think
farmer
the
and
same companies? Yeah, why do you
for
think the
you
same companies are
hold
pinning
on a
down
sec.
the
Let me just finish this.
agricultural? Yeah, the
Yeah, but
agricultural land, also the pharmaceuticals, also the technology. Why do you think the same companies are all involved in that?
yeah, because they are. But hold on, look. Becoming a farmer at this point in age, it's the same, and it disconnects from the internet and from the world. Is the same as putting your head in the sand. The world is going to catch up with you, and you're not aware of it.
Take a look at the futurism ideas that they project that we're going to have in the very near future. Your
So do
Elon Musk
something
is
about it,
talking
then.
about putting a Neuralink into the brain, or
Do something about
Vision
it, man.
Apple Vision Pro talking about putting freaking
Yeah,
making
but
you have wear
becoming a
goggles.
farmer is not going to stop that. So becoming a farmer is not going to stop these things to happen. And
You
in
guys
the
are
next
gonna live.
1 or 2 generations, it's going to catch up with you and your farm and your kids and your grandchildren. It's going to catch up with them.
Yeah, yeah,
You need
yeah,
to,
yeah.
whatever
It
you're going
might
to
not.
do,
It
do it
might not.
now
Well,
to the government, your current government. You
It
need to take
look.
a,
This technology is not being developed for you and me. We might not adapt the technology, but our kids will, and our grandkids will, and they're going to be stuck with a life where only this is known, where they don't know anything other than it, where they are in complete servitude.
absolutely. Absolutely. That's why it's down to us, this generation. Yeah. If we do nothing, that's it. We're gonna be guilty of it because we're just talking about. We're not doing any physical action about it. You know, we should be taking.
Well, I'm trying to make action about it, but I'm getting fucking
Yeah.
fought by like everybody in a
The
truth server about it. They're
the
like,
the
"No,
people were
Lou."
on the streets. The people were on the streets, and the people are more awakened now than ever before. But there is still more to be done. There's still more things dependent on people. There's so many things coming to the surface now that people are fed up with the systems. Yeah, and the things that you are bringing it up, that this all of these innovations. Yeah, we are aware of it, and there are a lot of things that we don't know. We
And
don't know
people
the
like
things that we don't
Orion
know.
not only are aware
Yeah.
of it, but they welcome it with open arms. They greet it. They say that this is
Some
going to be
people
a
What
do.
the hell are you
fantastic
talking about?
future.
What are you saying? What am I
Yeah,
welcoming
some
with open?
people do.
What? What am I welcoming?
Do you want technology to run the world? Do you open your arms to AI and cryptocurrency and fucking CBDCs and freaking everything being traceable and everything being technologically connected?
Everything
People
being
putting
wait, wait,
taking
hold
brain
on. Just
chips. People freaking
slow down, chill. Let's start one at a time. You just said everything being tracked and
Yeah,
traced. Let's start with that. So the answer
but
to
yeah.
that
It's
would
called the
be,
Internet of Bodies and the Internet of Things. You're talking about Web
yeah, but
3.0
he's not
and Web 4.0.
expressing himself properly, are you, Luke?
oh my
Not expressing
god, do you
himself
want me to answer
properly.
your question or are you just gonna
This tech,
rant retard? Okay, so
this
Okay.
technology
the
can
answer
be
to that
open.
question, the answer to that
Can't hear a
specific.
fucking thing because everyone's talking over the top of each other.
Never mind. Lunatic's just being retarded. Fuck Lou.
I'm retarded. Just give me your rebuttal, man. Fucking go. It's
All
open.
right.
I'm not the one
So
who interrupted you the last 15 seconds.
I'm just saying, like, to answer your question specifically, I can't go through the entire list. but through specifically the tracked and traced part, no, I am opposed to that. Okay, I'm just saying I don't recognize it as a
If that's the
problem.
case,
I'm not for it. Now, keep in mind, Lou, you may recognize it as a problem. I don't recognize it as a problem. I'm not for it. You're not
how
for
is
it.
it?
We're on the same
Tell
side of
me
that.
how
I'm not for it, but I don't recognize it as a problem like the way you do. I'm not
Tell
for
me.
it.
All right. After hearing me rant, tell me how it's not a problem.
I haven't seen it be a problem for me so far.
Isn't it just giving them more control and they're tightening the noose around us even more with these devices? If they know our thoughts and our actions and know what we're gonna do before we do it, it just puts them a step ahead of us even more than they already are. I don't see how that could be a good thing.
It cannot. It's not beneficial to you. It's beneficial to them to better know you, to better control you.
Right.
Well, as far as I can tell, it hardly makes any fucking difference to me. So whatever.
Well, you haven't thought about ditching it. What if they had no data on you?
My life would be the same, I think.
Would it?
How would it be different?
It would probably be harder. Like you wouldn't be able to access your phone through a thumbprint. You wouldn't be able to fucking,
I don't do that. What,
they've
I don't
made
know
it
what you're
harder
talking
on
about.
you.
Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Access your phone through a.
You don't use biometrics on
Well,
your phone.
no, I don't.
What about like
Seems kind of
so facial
unnecessary,
recognition? Do
honestly.
you use Facebook? Do you use Facebook?
No, actually, because I forgot the password, so no, I don't really use it.
So, but you have a Facebook account, right? And when you're in a picture on Facebook, does it tag you and saying this is Orion or whatever your real name is? Does it tag you automatically?
Orion is my real name.
Orion is your real name?
My middle name.
I don't know if I believe that either. Anyway. Uh,
Okay, what am I supposed to do? I don't know. What am I supposed to say to that? Like, really?
You don't have to say anything. I'm just saying I don't know if I believe that to be true.
Okay,
I've never
I
met a
don't
single
believe that.
person.
Okay,
I've
well,
never met a
while we're
single
talking about
person
things we don't believe in,
with a name of Orion.
yeah, well, I don't believe that people tracking data of mine is a problem because it hasn't been demonstrated to be a problem so far. I don't believe that.
Yeah, but that's how they do everything, Orion. It's always a slow long-term plan. They start out small and you don't see it right away.
Say everything,
Till
but
it's
you're being too vague. Say everything. You're being too vague when you say everything. What do you mean everything? What are you talking about?
their arms of control and how they squeeze us and take more and more away from us to control
How
us
do you
and us in closer.
how do you think they establish who is like on the watch list when it comes to like possible domestic terrorism and stuff like that? How do you think they do that?
Hold on, let me give Orion another example because we've been talking about this a lot. They've been doing all these UFO hearings, right? Well, where did UFOs first come from? It started in Roswell in 1947, and the government pulled this hoax and tried to fool people into thinking they were covering up something. And look at the long-term plan of where that's going now. And now they're coming out and admitting it.
I don't know what
Yeah,
I
look
can't
at
follow what
the
you're saying.
Twitter
I'm trying
files.
to follow what you're saying. I cannot logically follow what you're saying. Who's trying to do what is what I'm
Maybe you have maybe you're incapable of doing so.
or you guys just think you have something you don't have and you're just having a hard time admitting you don't have anything interesting to talk about right now.
Listen, I don't know what their end goal is, but it's clear they've been planning this and rolling this information out slowly. And they started the UFO craze. They did that.
And how
Wait,
is the
hold on.
happiness probe in your
UFO
brain doing
praise,
today?
like
Filthy human!
what is UFOs got to do with anything that we're talking about? Like okay,
It's
so a
just an
UFO
example.
is
It's
like
just an
let's
example of something that they're using somehow to manipulate people. For what purpose, I don't know, but it's pretty obvious.
So it's social engineering. It's social engineering. It's the whole reason why we had ancient aliens for 20 fucking years. Like, it's to get people able to accept the idea of something that they otherwise would have thought ridiculous.
What are you
We all know
talking about? Who are you?
aliens from the vacuum of space, right? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's funny, guys, that back in the day, there's some of those people like they're, oh, the conspiracy theorists believe in aliens, and then now it's like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, you don't believe in aliens.
And the
What the
government
hell is
Complete
that?
role reversal. Well, but there were right now. That's the trend that we're in right now with everything. It's a complete role reversal. So like it's very strange politically. The Democrats were always for free speech, liberty, the worker, anti-war, and so on. Well, now what are the Democrats for? They want war in Ukraine. They want the workers to give up their right, more of their more hours and less pay to the big companies, corporations. They want what was some of the other things I said? Yeah, they're pro-war, they're anti-worker, they're pro big government. Yeah, they were about small government. Now they're pro big government. And whatever the government says, whereas they were always the ones who would protest against the government, now they protest against the people who protest against the government. Everything is a fucking complete role reversal. We got the trans thing going on. We got the fucking yeah, not dude, everything is turned upside down, which was foreshadowed by like literally like Stranger Things and things being in the upside down. Like
it seems to me like you're just describing cultural change as time goes on, which happens.
that doesn't happen naturally, dipshit. That shit actually fucking has to be
Oh,
fucking orchestrated. Oh, you
now
don't
you
like me
get
calling you
angry,
dipshit?
huh? Care to demonstrate this to be true, or you just got throw insults
That
out there?
stuff does not happen naturally. It has to be fucking driven. It has to be
Oh,
steered.
but you don't have any demonstration of this, or any example of this, or any evidence of this. No, you just got your empty words. Empty words.
Oh, so all this just happened naturally. It's the natural progression of things.
I you said everything. Everything.
Everything got turned
Everything?
upside
What are you
down and
talking
got
about?
made weird as
Everything.
shit. Everything got turned upside down and made weird as shit naturally.
No, I'm not saying everything is natural. I'm saying
Antifa is natural.
no, I'm not saying that's the funding from it. Like
George
what
Floyd protests were
oh,
natural.
I guess what you mean grassroots. The term you're looking for is grassroots. No, I don't think Antifa is
Do you think
grassroots.
MAGA was natural?
Do you mean grassroots? Let's use that term.
There's no such thing. Not anymore.
Okay, well then come on, dude. Speak English with me. Come on. The
Dude,
answer is no.
if something started out in a grassroots movement, it quickly gets hijacked and turned into a social manipulation, social engineering. MAGA was either
There's no
planned from the start or
Tea Party is a good example of that.
same thing with the Tea Party. The Tea Party was not. It might have started out natural, but it was quickly hijacked. Anonymous, the hacker group, right? Anonymous might have started out natural, grassroots, but it quickly got hijacked by the CIA as they arrested those fuckers and got them to work for them instead of facing jail sentences.
Is it
Okay, I
natural to
acknowledge.
people
Hold on, hold on.
out of society
You
and prop them up in the music business and completely hijacked an entire community? and they promoted this gangster thug lifestyle. Was that natural? That wasn't good for anyone.
Guys, you got to be careful with your words. You see, Lou said everything a second ago, and I wouldn't say everything is natural. That's why I was
Dude,
correcting.
no. At this
Well, I'm just
point,
trying to give
nothing.
examples.
At this point, I'm going to stand by it. At this point, nothing is natural. Absolutely everything is synthetic.
But
Absolutely everything that you see.
What about the trees? What about the trees? Are the trees synthetic?
Okay, now you're talking about actually in the real world. No, I'm talking about everything in the media, everything on the news, everything that you think is a movement, everything that you think, like, we're talking about that stuff. Like, you go into the trees are still natural. The trees are still naturally dying because of some of the shit that they're doing to them, but that's another story.
I'm just saying, I think you'd have a better point if you got into specifics and weren't speaking so broadly.
I don't think I was speaking that broadly.
Well,
In fact,
I would say both of you
specific
were.
there too. I got pretty specific there too.
I mean, I can't tell you all the details because I don't know, but you can see the rollout. Are you denying that UFOs and that whole Roswell incident that wasn't planned by design and
Don't
pushed
know
all
what,
the way to
dude.
the
I don't
point?
know what to say about that. All I can say is I don't know what to say about that. But I'd say at this point in time, it's more than likely irrelevant. That's all I'd say about
It's
No,
irrelevant, even
it's
though it's obvious and in your face, and it's clearly a manipulation of the people and their
it. Tell me.
entire way of thinking.
So then tell me, how is that relevant? Oh, well, I don't even know what we're talking about. What
Okay,
are
how
we
about this?
talking
How
about?
about this? It
What are we talking about?
solidifies the heliocentric model. Aliens.
I know the folklore, like aliens, the vacuum of space. Yeah, I know that they tie UFOs into the folklore. Here it is. Yeah. But
I
like,
think Orion's an alien.
I don't know.
Dude, how
Are
does
you?
the presence of an alternative biological entity prove anything about space?
Well,
Well,
you're an AI. You don't get to speak for the alien.
we're talking about these people that believe in this shit, man.
Well, you said it solidifies it, but it doesn't. It only solidifies it for certain people, right, who aren't going to scrutinize it,
I
right?
didn't know
Well,
we touted for
no,
the fucking
and a speculation.
engineering.
Maybe that's not even the plan. You know, I don't know their total plans. I just gave an example. So here's another one I can think of. Right, we go back to music and this gangster thug music. When I was growing up, these rappers were tough guys. You know, masculine, manly, tough guys. Now, in the black community in that time, they didn't tolerate homosexuality. So they came up with this idea, right? Well, let's take all these rappers now, the new, we're gonna put it on this younger generation, and they're all gonna be homosexual. But we're not gonna tell them at first because they're not gonna accept that. But then we're gonna slowly let them come out of the closet. All rappers today, they're all closet homos, slowly
What do you
rolling
think?
out.
What do you think Eminem was back in the early 2000s about, like, I'm coming out the closet, like that song?
I don't know, man. Fuck that guy. But I'm just saying, I mean, you might not pay attention to that shit, but I'm aware of it and I see it. And that's not organically happening. That's being socially engineered.
I
Yeah, but
understand what you're pointing out, and I understand how it's weird, but I'm still failing to see how this is a problem for me as an individual.
Nobody cares about you as an individual.
Like, I'll be honest. Like, the last thing he's talking about, like gay rappers, like incrementally coming out, like that just
No,
outright makes
we're
me.
not talking. We're not talking about you, you selfish son of a bitch, as an individual. We're talking about society as a whole and how it's destroying it, not you.
And it's
But,
getting
I mean,
our
let
community
me
that
think
was so against that movement and getting them to accept it. And so it's harder for you now. Now you're gonna have to accept it because it's in your face, and it's gonna be you're not gonna be able to do anything about it.
I have to accept what? What specifically are you talking about? I have to accept a gay rapper? What are you talking about?
No,
LGBT.
no, no. Of course not. Nobody cares if you like the gay rapper or not. It's the fact that
And
the
the
gay
world
rapper
and the
has
world continues
influence.
to not spin.
It's the fact that the rapper has influence and that he's changing the minds of people around him. His fans, his young
Well,
fans, influential
um,
fans.
And
this
in a community
conversation
where that's not
divulged into
acceptable,
shit,
in a
didn't it?
community where that's not acceptable, they completely are changing the mindset of an entire community.
On a side note, what happened to Discord lately? We got really bad gates. It's like two people talking, they completely cut each other's mics out.
I don't know. I've been
Uh,
thinking there's a bad lag lately. The last couple of days, there's been a lot of lag.
Maybe we should reposition the server location.
It's too bad that there isn't any vacuum of space, because if there was a vacuum of space, then we could have satellites, and if we had satellites, then they could help us with this problem.
So Ryan, don't you, did that make sense to you though? About you can see that, can't you? I'll give you another example. Budweiser, a Fortune 500 company. Are you telling me that you believe that they did that promotion by accident? That it was just a oopsie?
No, I didn't. I don't believe that. I believe they did
Yeah,
it deliberately. I'm just saying
they
I
knew.
don't care. What I'm saying is I believe they did it deliberately. I'm acknowledging that. What I'm saying is it has no effect on my life. I have no reason to care, is what I'm saying.
So, did what happened a few years ago affect your life?
Totally different.
No, it isn't.
Yeah,
not really.
that's a
No, not
different.
really. Not
That's not
really.
even.
It's not at all different. They
They
manipulated the public around him to behave in a certain way, and now he has to somehow fit into it.
I'd say I try to look at the glass half full on that one. At least I know, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
who's really what way and who's really what other way. I know who my real friends are thanks to that, thankfully.
But it still influenced your life. It still had an impact on your life, even though you were aware of it.
I know, and I just said in a positive way, in a negative way, and a positive way. So what?
All right, but that,
Did it make your life better?
Being that it showed me who my real friends are, yes, affirmative.
Okay, but did it take away your liberties and your freedoms, or did it give you more?
I suppose it temporarily took them away, and yeah, I'm opposed to that. So yeah,
Okay, so it took
I'm
away your
advocating
liberties
for
and
that.
freedoms. If it took away your liberties and freedoms, did it affect you?
Did you not hear me when I said a second ago? I tried to look at it the glass half full. I think I already answered this question.
I
I,
think you answered it by saying, even though it took away your liberties and your freedoms, you choose not to talk about that.
no. I just said okay. You may be you may be not so familiar with the term glass half full. Maybe I need to
No, I
mansplain
understand
it
it.
to you.
Optimist, pessimist. So you choose to look at it as a good thing, even though it's a bad thing.
No. I'm just. Well, I'd say more so as a good thing, but I'm just acknowledging both.
So
Can
if
I
you
do
want
that?
to claim that it was a good thing that they took away your liberties and
I didn't.
freedoms,
No.
explain to me
What you're
how.
putting? Hold on, Luke. You're putting words in my mouth now. Stop putting words in my mouth. I did not
No,
claim
you said the
that
words.
that
You said the
feeling.
words. You said
No,
the
he didn't.
words.
So,
Okay, I
so the
said it had a
moral
good
lesson.
effect.
So the moral lesson here is never marry your sister.
What is your profession?
See, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.